What's happening, everybody? Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Ball Sports Network. Thank you guys for the continued support. Continue to hit the like, share, subscribe, and the notification bells. I upload every single day pretty much. I've been off for a few days, was on vacation, but I'm back. And I'm back in time to see this news. Obviously, the Lakers and Celtics, Lakers and Heat, sorry. No, not Celtics. Lakers and Heat headed to the finals, but in the midst of that, Doc Rivers has been fired by the Clippers. Now, in my last video I made about the Clippers, I talked about how teammates were laughing at Paul George. I talked about when they got eliminated by the Nuggets that there was not much you could do with this team besides one thing, and that was fire Doc Rivers. And it seems like the Clippers have made that move to get rid of Doc Rivers. Now, here's why they made the move. You can blame Paul George, you can blame Kawhi Leonard. Ultimately, the reason why the Clippers fired Doc Rivers was Doc Rivers' fault. There's nothing else, there's no more to say it. A big chunk of the blame belongs to the Denver Nuggets, and here's why. Because not only did the Clippers lose to the Denver Nuggets when they were up 3-1, it was the third playoff series Doc Rivers in his coaching career that he lost the series being up 3-1. He's the only coach to ever do that. It's the second time he did it with the Clippers, albeit different teams, 5 years apart. He still did it with the same organization. When the Nuggets beat the Clippers, and then the Clippers had to be at home after being up 3-1 in that series and watch the Nuggets losing 5 games to LeBron James when he put up a virtuoso performance in Game 5. Steve Ballmer, Lawrence Frank, more than likely Ballmer, he couldn't take it. He couldn't take it, and he had to pull the trigger. Doc may have kept his job if the Nuggets losing 6 games, if the Nuggets losing 7 games, if the Nuggets win ultimately. Even if the Lakers go into the finals. But to watch the Lakers go to the finals, beating the Nuggets in 5 games, when this Clippers team was built to beat that Lakers team, and this Clippers team should have did what that Lakers team did either after Game 5, should have been after Game 5, but especially after Game 6, and damn sure shouldn't have been in no Game 7. Steve Ballmer probably couldn't take it. He probably couldn't take it. Steve Ballmer is trying his hardest to make the Clippers a relevant franchise. Steve Ballmer, ever since he bought the Clippers, he has made moves, strategic moves, albeit smart moves, to make them a relevant franchise, to not be the stepchild, or step cousin, step whatever to the Lakers in Los Angeles. He wants them to be a brand, a relevant brand, a brand that's not known for Donald Sterling and for being the worst franchise in the history of the NBA. He don't want that, to have the terrible #1 overall picks, to have blunders in the playoffs. And this only added to the Clippers' allure, the fake allure, the opposite of whatever allure is. You know what I mean? This just added, because it was nothing more. The Clippers, who has been the favorite all year long to win the NBA championship. Everybody's picking them to beat LeBron. This team was built to beat LeBron James. This team was built to go deep into the playoffs. That's why the load management is installed. That's why they traded their whole future to get Paul George. That's why they have 2 guys on the bench that average 18 points a game. That's why they're doing all these things, to beat the Lakers. And when you lose to the Denver Nuggets, who are just puppies, who are just babies, who really probably should have lost in the first round because they were down 3-1 in the first round. Shouldn't even made it to the Clippers. But granted, they did, and so what? But when you lose to that team after being up 3-1, something has to change. And then you watch your neighbor, the team that you're trying to get away from, distance yourself from, show that you are a legit franchise and not be associated with them, even though y'all share the same building. To get rid of that and to show that you are the superior and have been the superior franchise for at least the last decade. To show that. And you watch them beat the team you should have taken care of. And you watch and you sit there and think, if you're Steve Ballmer, damn it, we should have beat them. We would have beat the Lakers. If we would have been playing them, they wouldn't have did us like that. But guess what? You can't say that because you lost to the Nuggets. And the Lakers took care of business against the Nuggets. And now the Lakers are in the finals to play the Heat, and they're the favorite. When it should be you. At least that's how you're thinking. If you're Steve Ballmer, it should be you. So somebody has to pay for this. And you can't get rid of Kawhi. You can't get rid of Paul George. So what else do you do? Doc's got to go. Mutual decision? Yeah, right. Whatever. Doc's got to go. And the thing is, when you lose in a series against the Nuggets, and Doc has that resume of having three times being up 3-1 and losing those series, You're justified. You're validated. Whatever. And if you need some more help, if you're Steve Ballmer, he's a billionaire. He owns the Clippers. He can do whatever he wants. But just in case you want some more ammo for the Doc fans in the room, Doc Rivers went 3-8 during his time as the Clippers head coach. 3-8 in potential series clinching games with the Clippers, tied for the worst mark by a single coach with one team. What does that mean? In 11 series clinching games, Doc is 3-8. It's a terrible record. The worst mark by a single coach with one team. What does that mean? What does being 3-8 in elimination games or series clinching games mean? Whether you want to say this is right or wrong for Doc, to me that means you don't get your guys ready to play. These are millionaires. These are NBA players. They should be able to amp themselves up. But there is a level that coaching gets you to in the professional world. Whether it's basketball, baseball, whatever. There's a level. There's a level that you're supposed to be able to unlock in your players as the head coach. And being 3-8 in series clinching games, that tells me you don't get those players to that level. Having 3 series that you were up 3-1 that you lost, a record for any coach ever, that tells me there's something missing. When you get that level of competitive edge that you want to give that killer mentality, that killer instinct that you want to install in your players, that you want to get them over the hump, doesn't come out for Doc Rivers-led teams. And the record shows it, man. He's the 11th winningest head coach of all time. Don't get me wrong. Doc Rivers will probably be in the Hall of Fame. He's a champion. His 11th winning percentage, 11th most wins of all time in the history of the NBA. But he just didn't get the job done in LA. And somebody had to pay for this season after watching. Now that you watch the Lakers, like I said, Steve Ballmer's trying. He's buying the Forum. He bought the Forum. He bought a new place. They're moving out of Staples Center. He is trying to get out of the basement of the Lakers, the shadow of the Lakers. He's doing everything. And to add this and to potentially watch the Lakers go on and win the championship after you feel like you were a better team and after they just took care of business, gentleman's sweep, against the team that you lost to after being up 3-1, Doc had to go. I don't blame Steve Ballmer. So thanks to Denver Nuggets. Thank the Los Angeles Lakers once again, Clippers, for getting your coach fired. That's all I have to say on that, man. It's a longer video, but it is what it is. I wish Doc nothing but the best. He'll bounce back. He'll get the Pacers or the Bulls. Oh, no. He'll get somebody's job. Not the Bulls' job, but he'll get. There's 6 vacancies open right now. He'll get one of them. It just won't be the Clippers. He just won't be leading the Clippers. Once again, I'm Jeff Lightsy Jr. with the Ball Sports Network. I'll see you guys next time.